you ever felt that strange shift in the air with someone? That moment when you just asterisk, no asterisk, they know you're onto them. It's a powerful, almost electric feeling. The moment a manipulator realizes you've finally seen through their games, their entire world starts to crumble. Their confidence, which once seemed so unshakable, begins to crack. The control they held so tightly over you starts to slip right through their fingers. And all those carefully crafted lies they used to weave, suddenly, they just stop working. In this video, we're going to dive deep into the fascinating psychology of what happens when the mask finally slips. We'll explore the exact psychological shift that exposes their tactics, often without you even having to say a single word. It's a subtle dance of power, and once you understand the steps, you become immune to their influence. So, make sure you stay with me until the very end, because I promise you, once you grasp what truly happens inside a manipulator's mind at this critical moment, you will never fall for their tricks again. And the best part, they'll know it too. Let's start by understanding the manipulator's playbook. Their entire strategy is built on a foundation of perceived control and superiority. They see relationships not as partnerships, but as a game of chess where they are the grand master, and you are just a pawn to be moved around the board. They thrive on predictability. They study you, learn your weaknesses, your fears, your desires, and they use this knowledge to pull your strings. Your reactions become their source of validation, their supply. When you react with anger, sadness, or confusion, it confirms to them that their tactics are effective. They feel powerful. So what happens when you stop playing their game? The first thing that happens is what I call the pattern interrupt. This is the initial shock to their system. Let's say their go-to move is to make a passive-aggressive comment to make you feel guilty. For years, it's worked like a charm. You'd either get defensive, apologize, or get upset, and they would get the reaction they wanted. But this time, you don't. You hear the comment, you recognize it for what it is, a manipulation tactic, and you simply don't react. You might give a neutral, that's an interesting perspective, and then change the subject. Inside the manipulator's mind, this is a red alert. The expected outcome didn't happen. The circuit is broken. Their brain, which was anticipating a specific emotional reward from your reaction, gets nothing. This creates a state of cognitive dissonance. They think, wait, that was supposed to work. Why didn't it work? This is the first crack in their armor. They don't immediately think, oh, they've figured me out. Instead, their first instinct is usually confusion, followed by an attempt to recalibrate. This leads them to the next phase. Escalation. A manipulator who feels their control slipping doesn't to hoost heap up. That's not in their nature. Instead, they double down. They will escalate their tactics, often becoming more obvious and more desperate. If guilt-tripping didn't work, they might try to provoke you with a more direct insult. If subtle gaslighting failed, they might move on to outright denying reality in a way that's almost absurd. They're essentially turning up the volume, trying to force the reaction they were denied earlier. This escalation phase is incredibly revealing. It's where you get to see their full range of manipulative tools, often in a frantic and clumsy display. They might bring up old mistakes you've made, try to turn your friends or family against you, or even play the victim in a dramatic fashion. It acts like a toddler throwing a bigger and bigger tantrum because their usual crying is you aren't getting them the candy they want. This is a crucial test for you. Your job is to remain the calm, unmovable center of your own universe. By continuing to not engage on their emotional level, you are sending a clear, unspoken message. Your tactics have no power here. Now we get to the really interesting part. The realization. After their attempts to escalate have failed repeatedly, the manipulator is forced to confront a new reality. The pattern isn't just interrupted, it's gone. This is where the psychological shift truly happens for them. They start to connect the dots. It's not that their tactics are just having an off day. It's that you have changed. You are no longer the predictable pawn they could move at will. The look in your eyes is different. Your body language is different. You're not emotionally reactive. You're observant. You're not a participant in their drama. You're an audience member who is clearly unimpressed with the show. This is terrifying for them. Why? because their entire sense of self is often tied to their ability to control others. When they lose that control, they feel a profound sense of powerlessness and inadequacy. It's a direct hit to their fragile ego. At these points, you may notice some very specific behavioral changes in them. One common reaction is what's known as hoovering. This is when the manipulator, realizing they were losing you, suddenly becomes the person you always wanted them to be. They'll be incredibly charming, apologetic, and attentive. They might buy you gifts, make grand promises about changing, and remind you of all the good times. This isn't a genuine change of heart. It's a strategic retreat. It's a desperate attempt to suck you back into the dynamic so they can regain control. They'd be trying to reset the game board to a time when you were still under their spell. If hoovering doesn't work, another path they might take is the smear campaign. If they can't control you, they'll try to control how other people see you. They'll start spreading rumors or twisting stories to paint you as the villain, the unstable one, the manipulator. This is a projection of the highest order. They are literally accusing you of their own behavior. This serves two purposes for them. It helps them manage their own feelings of failure by blaming you, and it isolates you from your support system, making you potentially more vulnerable and easier to control in the future. But what's happening inside their mind during all of this? Pure panic. The realization that you see them for who they are is like shining a bright light on a creature that has only ever lived in the shadows. They are exposed. Their carefully constructed facade is shattered, and they know that you can see the insecure, fearful person behind the mask. This is their greatest fear, realized. They will start replaying every recent interaction with you, searching for the exact moment they lost control. They'll analyze your words, your tone, your lack of reaction. It becomes an obsession. They're no longer thinking 3 steps ahead of you in their game. They are desperately trying to figure out how you got 3 steps ahead of them. And this is the key. When you truly understand their psychology and disengage from their games, you fundamentally change the power dynamic. You are no longer playing chess with them. You've simply knocked the board over and walked away. You're not trying to win their game. You're choosing not to play at all. And for a manipulator, someone who refuses to play is someone they can't control. This is the ultimate freedom. When a manipulator knows that you know they have a choice. Some will retreat and find an easier target. Their ego can't handle the constant reminder of their failure with you. Others might linger, constantly testing the waters to see if they can find a new crack in your armor. But they will never, ever see you the same way again. The power they once held is gone forever. You are no longer a source of supply. You are a mirror reflecting their own dysfunction back at them. Recognizing this shift is your superpower. It's not about confrontation or calling them out. It's about a quiet, internal strength. It's about seeing the strings and choosing not to dance. When you reach this point, you don't just protect yourself from one manipulator. You become immune to manipulation as a whole. You start trusting your own perceptions and stop letting others define your reality. So, the next time you feel that shift, that moment of clarity when you see the game for what it is, embrace it. Don't doubt yourself. That is the moment your freedom begins. It's the moment they realize the game is over, and you've already won, simply by choosing to walk away. Thank you so much for watching. If this video resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up, and consider subscribing for more content on understanding psychology and building stronger, healthier relationships. Let me know in the comments if you've ever experienced this moment. I'd love to hear your story. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.